Bonsai! I'm the Cobra Kai Kid, and welcome to another episode of the Cobra Kai Kid, where today we are going to be talking about the topic that everyone is talking about. Will Daniel and Johnny team up in Season 3? Will they form a dojo of their own against Kreese? Will it be called Miyagi-Do? Oh wait, no, Miyagi-Do is the regular thing. No, will it be called Miyagi Kai or Cobra-Do? I mean, both names are a little weird. I feel like Miyagi Kai is like cooler than Cobra-Do, because then all like Daniel gets is the do part, and Kai is Kai sounds cooler than do, like do and then Kai, do, like Cobra-Do or Miyagi Kai. Like I think that's a lot better. So I mean, unless it's Do-Kai, but that's kind of just ridiculous. So now, why will Johnny and Daniel team up? You may be asking. If you're not familiar with the series, I mean, at the end of season 2, we had that epic finale. Even if you are familiar with the series, you're gonna want to stick in because we have a lot to talk about. And if you're a fan, like I'm just as big of a fan, so let's talk about it. So this is for anyone. At the end of season 2, well, first off, we all know Daniel and Johnny have been enemies since high school. So the fact that them teaming up in season 3 is kind of hard to believe, but it's a very strong possibility. So from the beginning of time, also known as the Karate Kid, Daniel and Johnny were at odds. It all started on the beach where Daniel was playing soccer with Allie, flirting with her, and Johnny saw, and Tommy's like, "Hey Johnny, take a right." Rest in peace to Rob Garrison, who plays Tommy. So Johnny comes over, confronts Allie and Daniel, and then him and Daniel get into a fight. Johnny's the bully of the Karate Kid. Johnny continues to terrorize Daniel, but then Daniel did pour the water hose on him, even when Johnny didn't do anything. So that's in Johnny's defense. He didn't do anything there. But then you have Cobra Kai, where now, as grown men, even though Johnny is still holding on to the rivalry and Daniel is still holding on to the rivalry, both of them are like mature. They're mature. They're maturer than they were before, because they're not like, "Johnny Lawrence, I'm gonna beat you up," or "Daniel, I gotta beat you up." No, in the Karate Kid, it was like they were like really like, it was like always like fighting, physical fighting, but and obviously they're adults, so they're not gonna physically fight well until season 2, episode 10, and almost season 1, episode 9. But basically, they're more mature than they were in the Karate Kid, but at the same time, they're still not that mature because they have the rivalry, but they're not fighting physically. But still, they're always at odds with each other. And there's been some glimpses of a friendship, even though Daniel was kind of being a little bit of a jerk with Johnny, kind of boasting to his friends that he beat Johnny in the tournament. He was like, "I'm just messing with you." And I think he was messing with him, Like Johnny takes it more seriously, and I think for Daniel, it's just a karate tournament. I mean, obviously it meant a lot to Daniel, but after 30 years, you would think it's just like, oh, like, hey, like, remember that, like, all fun and games. But to Johnny, it's like way more than that. So, I really think a lot of people say, like my uncle, just started watching Cobra Kai, and when he watched the first episode, he was like, "Daniel is the D word. Daniel's and I was like, Richard, you have to," my uncle's name is Richard. So I'm like, "Richard, like, he fixed his car for free, even though he was kind of like, you could see how he was maybe being kind of a jerk, he really wasn't, he was offering Johnny a free discount, and he was trying to let the past go behind them. But, when Johnny opens Cobra Kai back up, then the rivalry comes back, and it's all out war between them. And especially at the end, and with Kreese, and then with Johnny, Daniel raising Robbie, and then just a whole bunch of stuff. And then Sam dating Miguel. There's just so much conflict between them two, and it's not until we almost got a confrontation in episode 5 of season 2, All In, where Daniel confronted Johnny at his dojo, and Johnny, listening to the advice he got from Carmen earlier, decided to be the bigger man and not fight. But then it wasn't until episode 10 where things really got down, and Johnny and Daniel did fight. So basically, we had those episodes, like both episodes 9 of season 1 and 2 showed glimpses of them rekindling their relationship. You had in episode 9 of season 1, Daniel and Johnny were at the bar. They were in the car singing "Take It on the Run" by REO Speedwagon, which is now one of my favorite songs just because of them. Every time I'm in the car, I put on the music and I'm like, I don't believe it, not for a minute. So it's just, I just love that. And then you have season 2, episode 9, where, well, before we get to that, and after their whole bonding thing, Johnny found out that Daniel was training Robbie, but Daniel didn't know that Robbie was Johnny's son. Robbie was Johnny's son. Yeah, I got that right. It's confusing. So then the conflict arose again. Then you have season 2, episode 9, where they're on the. That was probably one of the best episodes. I think that was hilarious. How they were at the double date, and Daniel and Johnny are like two little children. It's like it's what I really like. And this is one of my favorite parts about the show. These guys, as kids, you're kids. Like, you think it's black and white. You hate, like, Daniel hated Johnny. Johnny hated Daniel. There was no other way. There was no, I don't like him, but, I guess we could, talk, and, I could ask him a question on this math project. No, there was none of that. They hated each other. But with the Cobra Kai series, what I love so much is even after all of this, even after Daniel thought that Johnny had stolen the Medal of Honor, and that he sent his students to terrorize the dojo. So you would think Daniel would never forgive him, but then when they're together, even though they're mad at each other, it's like they're kids, and it's like they find a way to kind of move past it. They don't really they'll vent, but then they'll kind of get over it. But it's so funny. It's I remember it's so funny. It's season 1, episode 9, Different But Same, which is also one of my favorite episodes. I think the best episodes are when Daniel and Johnny are together, honestly. But in that episode, when they were at the breakfast table, and Amanda, Daniel's wife, is like, "So Johnny, I hear you run a karate dojo," and Johnny's like, "Yeah, it was nice until," she's like, "Oh, that's nice," and Johnny's like, "Yeah, it was nice until your husband got my rent doubled." And then and then Daniel's like, "You spray painted thingamajig on my face." And Johnny's like, "You tried to get me banned from the All Valley tournament." And then Daniel was like, what was the other one? I forgot. And then Johnny's like, don't forget your daughter almost rear-ended my car. And then Daniel's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I fixed your car," they're acting like children. "You did it. No, I did it." And I love that. I love how it's not, in Karate Kid, there was none of that. There was no communication, even if it was bad stuff, these things are bad, but at least they're not just ignore. I love when they just come together and just "You did this and I did," it brings a enjoyment to it, and it shows in a way that the two don't really hate each other. They just disagree with a lot of stuff. I think they like each other, honestly. And I think like when they spend time together, they actually enjoy being together. I think it gives them some sort of entertainment and like, you know, I know it's weird, but like I feel like they they do enjoy each other's presence even if they're arguing, because it's fun in a way, even though it's not really fun. You know, when I guess when you had Daniel confront Johnny after they terrorized his dojo, that's not really fun. That wasn't fun. But I mean, you know, like it's just, other than that, it's just fun and games. It's just a fun relationship. And, you know, even though they take it seriously, I don't think they don't hate each other. You know, like Kreese probably hates Daniel, but there's no like hate between Daniel and Johnny. It's just disagreement and annoyingness. Like, oh my God, it's a rivalry. It's a rivalry. It's a light rivalry. You know, they're not trying to physically harm each other. It's kind of all fun and games until, obviously, season 2, episode 10, the big fight. That's when it really starts. That's when it really becomes not about fun and games. And you know, by then, it's not like they get into an all-out fight. Like they're both just heartbroken over what happened, and it's like, this is our fault. Like, I think that was a really powerful scene with that elevator. How they just went in, didn't even say anything. I think that was beautifully done, and it really was a necessary scene because it showed really like it's these guys' fault. It's their fault. It's Johnny's fault for teaching the kids strike first, no mercy, all that, and then allowing Kreese to come back. And it's Daniel's fault for instead of like you know, Daniel, Mr. Miyagi, when Mr. Miyagi taught Daniel, like, everything he said was like not about fighting, you know, like everything he said, like wait, where I forgot, but like there was a when Mr. Miyagi hit something, broke something, Daniel asked, whoa, like I don't even know. I don't remember. It was like Mr. Miyagi's attitude was like all defense. It's like there's no like offense. Like he was trying to just protect Daniel and teach him the way of karate. He never wanted him to use it, even if like there were like freaking Chosen was threatening the village. He didn't just say, "Oh, I'll use karate." Like he wanted to find another way. He wouldn't fight Sato. But Daniel is kind of encouraging the fighting because he hates Cobra Kai so much. Like after the whole the lunch fight, when they said we were just protecting Dimitri, not the lunch fight, the mall fight. They like Sam was like we had to protect Dimitri. They were gonna hurt him, but like Daniel could have like been like, okay, like I'm glad you protected him, but like still like we have to figure this. He kind of just let it go. Even though he said, just because we train to fight, I don't want to see him to fight. He said that. I'll give him that. But at the same time, though, Miyagi would have handled it differently and wouldn't have just let it go. He would have really acted with this. Like if Miyagi were here, none of these problems would be happening because Miyagi would put perspective into Daniel. And I feel like maybe even Miyagi and Johnny would talk and really figure out, and Miyagi would see Johnny's not that bad of a guy, which I don't think Miyagi thinks that, because you know Miyagi doesn't really know Johnny, and Daniel didn't even really know that Johnny that well too in Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. I really can't wait for them to keep bonding. So now we have season 3. Man, so season 3 we have. Well, season 2 ended with that whole school fight. And everything became a disaster. Johnny lost Cobra Kai to Kreese, who is now training Hawk, Tori, and other bad kids. Johnny, we don't know. Doesn't have the dojo anymore, has no job. we are led to believe he's still raising Robbie, but I mean Robbie, I don't know where Robbie's at right now. Robbie cannot, maybe I feel like Johnny might even move or something. Maybe not out of Reseda, but I feel like Johnny can move because he doesn't want to live next to Carmen, who hates him and he feels guilty. So he might move with Robbie. Then you have Daniel, who even after it just goes to show once again how he's still not understanding. And I think that's perfect because, you still have to develop him, but like he still doesn't get it. When at the end of season 2, after the whole school fight, when Daniel's at the hospital and Sam's like crying. First off, that scene where Sam was in the hospital, she's like, I just want Miguel to be okay. And then Amanda was crying. Like, first off, I'm going to start crying. Mary Mauser, who plays Sam, when she did that scene, I could really see like the fear in her. And she was just like a scared like teenage girl who just experienced like a horrifying tragedy. Like I really felt that. And Amanda, her mom in the show started to cry too because her daughter was crying. But like I feel like Amanda didn't, the actress Courtney Hengler, I think it is, she didn't even have to like really like force herself to cry because of how good Mary's performance was. Like I felt like if I was in that room with her saying like, I don't care about Tori, I just want Miguel to be okay, like I would have like done that too, which is what Amanda did. Like I would have felt that emotion too, because like I would have believed that I was in that real situation because of her acting. Like, so I just want to point that out. I'm not sure if people mention that or not, but I think that's a really good acting portrayal on her part. She's a great actress overall, but I think that one scene where she in the hospital was amazing. So then, Sam goes to get more x-rays because they think she broke a rib or something. It's crazy. And Daniel is like, don't worry, I won't let Cobra Kai get away with this. I won't let Cobra Kai get away this time. He still doesn't get it. And Amanda is saying, no more Cobra Kai, no more karate, no more. And Daniel literally, like, after this whole fight, which is his fault. It's his fault because he opened Miyagi-Do not to teach karate, but to go against Cobra Kai. Like let's be honest. Even though like he has good intentions. I'm not saying he doesn't have good intentions. Both Johnny and Daniel had good intentions and never wanted it to get this far. But when you show your kids, your students, that you have a rivalry against one group, obviously they're going to pick up after that. So Daniel should have immediately shut that out. Like, I don't know. He shouldn't have even poached the kids from the Cobra Kai dojo because that was bound to start a war, Having that whole dynamic. Now you have the Miyagi-Dos versus the Cobra Kais, but it should have been Daniel versus Johnny. Well, I mean, obviously, not on an entertainment level. On an entertainment level and on a story level, it makes sense. But I mean, if I'm Daniel, I don't want these kids to have that rivalry with Cobra Kai and then actually like fight them. This is between me and Johnny. It's not between you guys. Don't take your rivalry out on each other. Don't take our rivalry out on each other. This is me and Johnny's rivalry. But that's not what it is. The kids picked up on Daniel's rivalry with Johnny, and the kids picked up on Johnny's rivalry with Daniel. That's how it all happens. Robbie and Miguel don't even, other than the whole Sam thing, the rivalry is mainly because of Johnny and Daniel and perceptions. I know the whole Sam thing was a big factor, but still. So So basically, Daniel doesn't get it. Daniel doesn't get that no more karate. But Amanda tells him, and now he's like, oh my god. But then we see him putting away the picture frame of Mr. Miyagi, so he's closing up the dojo. So now Daniel has no dojo, Johnny has no dojo, and Kreese has Cobra Kai. So we already know that, spoiler alert, for season 3. This isn't that big of a spoiler, but I mean, if you want to be completely surprised when the show comes out, then I suggest then you could keep watching. It's not really a spoiler. It's just the name of the first episode, so it's not really a spoiler. But I don't even like to look at spoilers. I'm trying to avoid the Cobra Kai spoilers because even though I like to keep up with Cobra Kai news, I want to be surprised. Like, I don't want to know anything. So the first episode is called Aftermath, which is not that surprising of a title, and I think it's a really good title, but it's nothing like, oh my god, like. So it's most likely going to be the aftermath of that whole school fight, that whole season 2 ending. So now you have Johnny, who's going to deal with his stuff, Daniel, who's going to definitely deal with his stuff, because, Johnny just owned Cobra Kai. Daniel owned Cobra Kai and his car dealership. Oh, no, my bad. Miyagi-Do and his car dealership. So it's not just like he's losing Miyagi-Do, like his car dealership is in jeopardy. And I think, Daniel's going to be talking to the principal. I tried to avoid that spoiler, but I heard that. I mean, that's not that big of a spoiler, but at the same time, I want to avoid all the spoilers I can. So I think the first episode, I'm not sure if Johnny and Daniel will interact. If they do, it'll be very light. But I think it's everyone, it's the aftermath. Everyone kind of, the reaction to the whole situation. It's the reaction and how these characters play upon it, and it sets their future up. So episode 1 is going to, because we don't know where a lot of these characters are now and where they're going. So that first episode is going to tell us where they are now, and it's going to kind of give us an idea of where they're going. We'll see where Robbie is, because Robbie, man, I have no idea where Robbie could be. He could either be running away, which I don't think he'll do. I think he'll be with Johnny. But, we don't know, is he, like, sorry? I think he's sorry, but, like, is he going to go back to his, like, bad boy, delinquent ways and, like, do, like, bad stuff with his friends because he has nothing else now? And he has no Daniel mentor? Or is he going to try to make amends for his sins and go visit Miguel in the hospital? The possibilities are endless, and we're not going to really know until we see the trailer. Man, I cannot wait for this trailer. I am so curious as to what the trailer is going to be. Because for season 2, we knew it was going to be like Miyagi-Do versus Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai, and that's what we saw in the trailer. But for this season 3, it's going to basically tell us the tone and the direction. Because, like, I just have no idea where they're going with this. And, I've said this multiple times, but the way that they ended season 2, it's hard to believe that they're still going to do karate after this because of how serious those events were. And it's like, Johnny, is so broken because Miguel got hurt after that. Like, I can't see him ever getting back into karate after what karate's done to him and the people he's cared about. That's just and even Daniel too. So, I don't know, but the writers are definitely smart and they're definitely going to figure it out. Not worried about that at all. But now you have Daniel and Johnny, who just, we don't know where they are now. They're gonna have to deal with the after. They're gonna have to experience the aftermath and deal with the results and the consequences from that school fight. And I think the first couple episodes will deal with that. Excuse me. I think they'll deal with them recovering the whole aftermath. I think they will interact maybe in the first episode, but I don't know. Now, here we get to Cobra-Do / Miyagi Kai. Now, I don't know if it's really realistic if they just team up. I think they will team up, but I don't think it'll be that soon because there's still so much story to tell. You know, I thought that a bunch of things would happen in season 2. I thought Terry Silver would come back, Mike Barnes, Allie, but obviously there's a lot of story that has to be developed and they can't just throw all this stuff in. So honestly, I'm getting the feeling that if they team up, it'll be later on in the season, like at the midway point or later, because we know that Daniel is going to Okinawa, and I believe he's going there alone. So he's definitely not going to be there in episode 1, and I think the next couple episodes he's going to have to regroup and whatever. I feel like maybe episode 4 or something he'll go. I don't know why I feel episode 4, but I think he'll be there. Now, do I think he'll be there for a couple episodes? No. I'd say one episode. He's just there for one episode because I think he has too important of a role to just stay there. I think he's going to go to Okinawa, collect his mind, figure things out, and then come back. And then I think him and Johnny are going to team up after he comes back. I don't know if it's right after, but I think they're going to team up. Now, why I believe they're going to team up is because Kreese is doing some pretty bad stuff. Now, I've also said this before. Kreese needs to really be doing some bad stuff for them to team up. Because, once again, karate has literally put their loved ones in the face of death. So why would Daniel and Johnny want to revisit something that almost killed the people they care about most? There needs to be such a big bad thing that Kreese does or is doing, like almost life-threatening to other people, that makes Daniel and Johnny come back and team up. Now, do I think when they team up, do I think they're gonna open Cobra-Do karate, Miyagi Kai karate? I know that's like what I'm saying. That's kind of what I've been implying, but I don't think that will happen right away. I think when they do team up, before they just open a dojo, I think they're going to try to find a way to get rid of Kreese so he doesn't have control of the dojo, because, you know, they don't want to fight violence with violence anymore. That they tried that and that didn't work. So I feel like they're going to go a different way about it. They're going to try to take down Kreese by not actually like physically whatever. They might like talk to the heads of the they might talk to, what's his name? Armand. They might talk to Armand, who owns the mall, and try and, I don't know, they might just try to convince, you know, what I mean is that they're first going to try with a gentle approach. But then when Kreese really doesn't back down, I think they're going to, I don't know, it's just weird, like, it's just weird, like, do I want them to open a Cobra-Do and a Miyagi Kai? Yes, I do. That's not what I'm saying. I just care so much about the story that it's just hard to believe. Like, it's just not realistic. Like, look, I understand this whole show may not be realistic, but for the most part, it is. I just feel like there's so many things that, like, after that season 2 finale, there's just so many things that you really need to be careful for, and you have to do things right. You can't just have Daniel and Johnny team up, which I know everybody's saying Daniel and Johnny are going to team up, but I really don't think it's going to happen that soon. And it might not even happen at all. I'm not even kidding. What do I think is going to happen in this 3rd season? I have no clue. I literally have no clue. Like, I have ideas and stuff, but like, there's going to be 10 30-minute episodes. I have no idea where they're going with this. Like, where is this going? Like, they might team up, but like, how? When? Like, what's the final fight? Is it going to be the All Valley tournament? Like, it's just, there's so many questions and so many possibilities that, like, I feel like there's some shows that you could come up with fan fictions for, And with Cobra Kai, I even came up with a I started to write a season 2 fan fiction before season 2 came out. But with this, it's just you have to be pretty genius to write what happens next. And look, I'm a screenwriter, I'm a film writer, I make movies and stuff, but I mean, I don't know if I could even do I'm sure if I sat down, I could come up with something, but I know these writers are gonna come up with something that none of us expect, and I really love that. Look, do I love that Miguel's in a coma? No, Miguel's my favorite. But the fact that they ended season 2 in a way where nothing is predictable, marvelous, and we could be getting Terry Silver back, for God's sake. Oh my God, how awesome would that be? An Allie, man. Oh yeah, I forgot about Allie. So that just also furthers my reasoning for Daniel and Johnny not teaming up so soon, because we still have that Allie dynamic. We still have Allie, and we still have, I feel like Daniel and Johnny are going to be dealing with their families and their kids first. So if they do team up, it's definitely 1,000,000%. I'm saying it right now. Definitely 1,000,000% not until after episode 5. I would not be surprised if they don't team up till episode 9. What do I think they'll be doing in that meantime? I don't know. There's a lot that they could be doing. But I would not be surprised if they didn't team up until, I'll say, episode 5, 6 earliest, and 9 or 10 latest. They might even just team up in 10. I don't know. But, at the same time, there's just so many possibilities. And do I think that they're gonna be fighting the before, if they're gonna team up in episode 10, do I think they're gonna be fighting the other 9 episodes? No. I think they'll have some signs of maybe they're gonna start to team up or whatever, or they'll have some connections, some moments, whatever. But I don't think they're gonna really let's team up, let's work together until late in the season, midway or late. And I would not be surprised if it's late. I'm kind of leaning more towards late because there's so much story to tell. I mean, you have to deal with Tori's relationship with Sam and Hawk. I wouldn't be surprised if Tori and Hawk get together. I never really thought about that, but Tori and Hawk, because Miguel's in the coma and with Sam, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's something between Tori and Hawk. And then you have the whole Miguel and Sam connection. You have the whole Robbie, what's Robbie doing? Then you have Daniel dealing with Samantha and his wife. Then you have Daniel going to Okinawa. Then you have Johnny dealing with Robbie, and then Johnny's also having to deal with Miguel and Carmen, who Miguel's in the hospital. And then you have Kreese, who's teaching his students, probably not very good. And then we're definitely gonna visit a a jail or a juvie, because they confirmed in a casting call that they were looking for a juvie officer. And I didn't watch the video because I didn't want to be spoiled, but I mean the title kind of gave it away. It said Terry Silver might be in one of the prisons, and I think that would actually be really cool. I think that would actually be so awesome. But I don't want to know. I want to be surprised. If Robbie went to jail, he would go to a juvie. But who would go to jail? I mean, imagine if Johnny went to jail, or no, they wouldn't go to jail. But you know what I mean. That'd be cool if Terry was in jail and then Kreese came and bailed him out. Oh my God, to teach the new students, and Terry Silver's crazy. Oh my God, the possibilities are endless. Oh, that's actually a pretty cool look. I kind of like this. But yeah, so Daniel and Johnny teaming up in season 3. I think it's bound to happen. I think it will happen. As to when, I'm not sure. If they team up late in the season, I wouldn't be surprised if they team up late in the season, because it's going to really set up something in season 4. By season 4, there will definitely be a Cobra-Do or Miyagi Kai. There will definitely be a dojo shared between the two of them. Guarantee it. This season, I'm not sure because once again, I've learned from my mistakes with last season. I expected them to do too much in last season. Not that I loved last season. Don't get me wrong. Last season was freaking amazing, but I thought they were going to bring Allie back and Terry Silver and Mike Barnes. But that's not a part of this. Like that would have been too rushed. I liked what they did because they developed the characters that we had and they set stuff up. They set Allie to come back. And that was just me being excited. But now I know not to expect Terry Silver and Allie. Well, Allie probably, but Terry Silver, Mike Barnes. I'm not expecting them to come back. Chosen. I would want. I definitely think we're gonna see Chosen because Daniel's going to Okinawa. But I'm not gonna say too much because once again, like even if Daniel and Johnny teaming up, it's probably gonna happen. But they have multiple seasons. They're still developing, so I wouldn't be surprised. There's still so much story that they have to tell that they'll probably save the Daniel and Johnny teaming up for late in the season and then set up for season 4. I think it would actually be cooler if they didn't team up this season and they teamed up. Not this season. Like if they didn't team up till the end, because it would be like yes, like they're teaming up. But if they team up midway, it's kind of like okay, then we're already getting that. But like if they team up at the end, it's like oh my god, yay! And then the season ends. Then we're looking forward to them really teaming up in season 4. But if they team up early or midway and we see them team up, then like we're gonna be excited. But then at the end it's kind of like But then season 4 they're gonna be teaming up again. And I think that's what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna team them up in episode 8 or 9, maybe 9 or 10. I think that would be actually really cool if they did like a last minute team up. Now, you may be wondering, team up against what? Are they going to enter the All Valley tournament against Kreese? Maybe. That's a very strong possibility. But I don't know. Or they might team up like in a street fight or something. Like school fight, but like a street fight. I'm not sure. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. I really want Daniel and Johnny to team up because first off, their chemistry is amazing. And let's be honest, the best moments of the show are when the two of them are bonding. Those are the best moments. So imagine like when they really bond. But once again, these writers know that once they give us that, it kind of diminishes the whole rivalry. They need to kind of linger on it. So I feel like they're gonna save that for later and not just give it to us so quick. Because there's still things that they have to hold on to. For example, Daniel and Johnny fighting, they purposely held on to that until season 2, episode 10. And even then they didn't finish the whole fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel and Johnny fight in season 3 and then team up. But I think there's more probability of Daniel and Johnny fighting before they team up. I think they're going to fight, then they're going to team up. Because why would they team up, then fight? Unless, they teamed up and then something went bad, which it always does, and then they fight. But, I think they'll fight first. And once again, I know both of them are done with karate, but, are you really ever done with karate? So, yeah, that's what I got to say. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Cobra Kai Kid. I enjoyed making it. This was an episode that I've wanted to make for a while, and I'm so glad I made this. And we still got so much more to talk about, like what's going to be in the future for Miguel after the coma. Is our Torian Hawk going to be freaking insane? And whatever. How is Kreese going to run the dojo? There's so much to talk about. And, this is how I'm counting down until season 3, by just talking about it and theorizing and discussing. And I am so excited. I think season 3 could be the best season because there's just endless possibilities once again, and there's really no clear-cut story. And I can't wait till we get that trailer, because that trailer is going to really tell me where things are right now. Because you don't know until you get the trailer where things are. You don't know. It's all speculation. Like even season 2, even though that we kind of knew what the plot would be, Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do. It wasn't until we really got that season 2 trailer, it really set things into perspective. But I think with this trailer, it's going to really set things into perspective more. Now, we didn't get a trailer until like March, which was like a month before. So we're not going to get a trailer probably till like March or something, or May or April, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, I just can't wait. I don't mind waiting because I want to be able to theorize and look forward to it. You know, when it comes, like, obviously I'll be happy, but then it's like, oh no, it's over. Like, I miss waiting for it. So I love the waiting for it aspect. A lot of people just say, I want season 3. You know, I've had my moments where I'm like, I want season 3, and I do want season 3, but I'm having really fun theorizing and speculating, rewatching season 1 and 2 for millions of times, and I just don't want Cobra Kai to ever end. I feel like the longer we wait, the longer Cobra Kai still exists. Because then if Cobra Kai just keeps coming, it's going to end eventually, and then we will have no Cobra Kai to look forward to. So I want my Cobra Kai to look forward to. So, okay. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this theory, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like down below. Comment something. What do you think? Do you think Daniel and Johnny are going to team up in season 3? And if they do, what would you prefer they be called? Cobra-Do or Miyagi Kai? Once again, I'm more for Miyagi Kai. I think that sounds cooler. But I'll miss the Cobra part too. I'll miss that. But also make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to never miss a video, because I will always be uploading videos. I will continuously be uploading a bunch of theories, discussions, reviews, and so much more, and you're not going to want to miss it. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, Cobra Kai, let's change it up a bit. Miyagi Kai never dies.